talking to Bob Catley about the coming Avantasia tour of Australia. Bob, it's great to talk to you.
Hello, everybody. Yes, nice to talk to you all this way from. I'm in Switzerland at the moment. We're just doing some shows in near Basel, called Prateln, just near Basel in Switzerland, and we're doing 3 nights at a club called Z7. And we're coming to the end of the European leg of the World Avantasia tour, and it's been going fantastic. We've been all around Germany, and we've been to Czech Republic and Slovakia, and now we're in Switzerland. And then we're heading off on Monday. We head off to Spain to do 3 shows in Spain. And it's going great. Then we're going to have a bit of a break, and then we'll be starting the long haul stuff. Yeah, great. Spending half your life up in the air, flying around the planet. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been going great. I've done a couple of world tours before with Avantasia over the past few years, but it hasn't been as big or as popular as it is now. I mean, it's really taken off in Europe. So I'm hoping that the word has spread as far as Australia, and we're going to be welcomed with open arms when we get there to Sydney in May. And I'm really looking forward to coming to Australia. I've never been to Australia before. So it's a totally new experience for me and most other people in the Avantasia world. So yeah, can't wait. It's going to be great. Thank you.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. You will be well received because it's been big news when it was announced, because people have been trying for quite a long time, as far as I'm aware. And I've spoken to Toby a couple of times, and he says, look, I don't think it will ever happen, but it has. So it's a big thrill for us down here, so we're really looking forward to it.
Great stuff. Well, then, great. I hope everybody's going to enjoy it. I know they're going to love it. From the reaction we've had so far in Europe, it's been fantastic. So I think you're going to like it. It's a great show. It's a 3-hour show. There aren't any other bands on, as far as I know. You don't need anybody else on, and it's quite involved. It's constructed like an opera, in a heavy metal rock way. There's about 6 individual singers that appear occasionally on and off the stage, but Tobias is there all the way through. He's like the ringmaster, and he's involved in all the songs, apart from a couple where he has a little break, and I don't blame him for 3 hours. And he does great, and we all get on famously well. I mean, there aren't any egos backstage. We're all on the same level. We're all there for the right reason, and to create this magical rock called Avantasia, and I love it to bits. It's my 3rd world tour now, but this is the most interest it's attracted so far. So great, bring it on. Yes, please.
Were you familiar with Avantasia before you got the call? How did it come about that you got involved?
Okay, well, this was probably 18 or 19 years ago, probably 2001. My manager got a call, Annie. Her name's Annie. She got a call from a guy called Tobias Summit, who I'd never heard of, to be honest. And she said, this German chap's got in touch with me, and he's wondering if you'd be interested in singing a couple of songs for him to do with a project called Avantasia. I went, oh, that sounds interesting. So I was doing with Tony from Magnum at the time. We were working on a comeback album. We'd been away for some years, and we was working on the first album after that break. And I said yes. He knew. I mean, she told him that I did 6 solo albums in the break that Magnum took for 6 years, and I was open and up for working with different people depending on what the music was and if it suited my voice, and I'd take it from there. So he came over to England, and we got together, and he played me the stuff, and I liked it very much. And we recorded a couple of tracks. The one which was one that everybody knows by now, which is called "The Story Ain't Over," and that's been my kind of anthem for Avantasia all these years. It's brought me to a lot of people I wouldn't have imagined performing in front of. So that's how it started, really. And it grew from there, and then I started my first tour with Avantasia was in 2008, and so that's when it all started, back in the early 2000s, and it was I loved it, and it reminded me of kind of 80s Magnum, the way Tony used to write at the time. And that's the way I liked it so much, I think. So that's where it started, yeah.
How do you go fitting in Magnum and any other projects you have with the Avantasia? I'm always fascinated with the Avantasia thing because they've got, you coming from here, someone else coming from over there, and getting all these people schedules aligned for starters. How have you found it difficult, or is it really easy?
It's a miracle that we'll get together at all to perform live. I mean, recording is one thing. You can do it at your leisure and whenever you're available to do it. And you don't have to be in the same room these days. You can do it through the wonders of technology. But to get all these people together on one stage or one tour bus or one airport I don't know how we do it. It usually works out good considering how many people are involved and what their schedules are, mine included, and you don't want to upset your own band by saying, well, sorry, I can't do this tour we've got booked because Tobias Sammet wants me to sing with Avantasia on the world tour, and I don't think that'll go down very well. So it has to be spoken about beforehand and arranged amicably between the band, the record company, the agencies. Everybody has to be involved, and to get make it work between all those elements. Otherwise, it just clashes terribly, and you lose out. And there's no need to do that if you just talk about it sensibly. And I mean, what happened last time, 3 years ago, there was the Magnum tour coming up for the new album, which came out in January, and we were due to play March, April, and then Avantasia album came out in January, and that tour was supposed to start March, April. So help. So we got together. Tobias called our record company, which is also a German label, SPV, and they called Tony Clarkin, who with myself runs Magnum, and talked him into putting the Magnum tour back a month, which was great. So at least Avantasia could have me for the European leg in March, and then I had to come back to the Magnum tour, which was then put back to April and then May. So I could only do the European. I couldn't do around the world long haul stuff like I am now. So it could have been worse. I could have said to Toby, sorry, I can't do any of it. because some of the gigs were already booked, but they were rescheduled, thankfully. So it can cause problems, but if you talk about it, then and everybody sees the sense of doing Avantasia, because it's great publicity for the band that you're in, of course, and it helps promote your album. And so it's good for business all round, really. So hopefully it can be sorted out, but it can be difficult at times.
Old-time Magnum fan here from the very early 80s.
Yeah.
On a Storyteller's night, I just want to tell you that I still play that album regularly.
Ah, great. Well, that's brilliant. Well, then it did its job then. I think it's a great album myself. Yeah, we recorded it in 1985 in Wolverhampton, and it's been brilliant for bringing Magnum to a lot of rock fans. The songs are still there in people's minds, I think, and hearts. That old phrase, hearts and minds. And we still do a lot of them on stage. We still do How Far Jerusalem on stage. We do L'Amour Dansant. We do All England's Eyes.
That's just incredible, L'Amour Dansant.
From all those years ago, you know. I mean, songs come and go over the years, but those ones are cornerstones of the Magnum show now, recently, and will be next year when we tour the new album. And it's been a fantastic record for us. And everybody loves it, and the artwork by Rodney Matthews, and it's very Middle Earth, as everybody knows. It's brilliant. I think it's put together brilliantly. But the only thing Tony would say, Tony Clarkin, who's the songwriter and our record producer, he would say that he wished it sounded like we sound now, not that it sounds a bit dated. The production, you see, not the songs. The songs are great, and the performances are pretty good as well. But the technology has moved on so much of it now that we sound a lot, bands sound a lot better than they did in the mid-'80s, of course. But that's the only downside from it. But everybody loves it, and I think it'll always be a Magnum classic album. And people say when they mention Magnum, they go, "Oh yeah, Storyteller's Night." So that's how good it's been for us, and I'm glad you still play it and you still like it. That's fantastic to hear that.
Okay, Bob, absolutely great to talk to you. Looking forward to seeing you down here in Australia with Avantasia in May, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
My pleasure. You take care, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. Okay. Cheerio then.